Hey there, internet friends. In this video, I'm going to show you how I built the tractor shed all by myself. It's a one-man job. I'll show you how I did it, show you how I cut the rafters, and put everything up. Well, it's not really a tractor shed. It is actually a lumber storage shed now. So let's get going. Hey, the first thing what I'm doing is measuring off the side of the building there. I gotta know where to dig in for the post. Now the machine I use makes the holes quite large, so it's going to be pretty easy to set the post where we want them. Now this machine here saves me a lot of time. If I had to dig this by hand using a round pointed shovel, well, you can see that the machine itself having a little issue digging it. If it was me, I'd be a lot of times digging that hole. I'll tell you, I love this machine. It saves me a lot of work. And it's the right size for this type of job. You'll be seeing this machine around a little bit more. I took a video of me putting in a culvert. That's going to be up next. And I'll be using it on my daughter's house remodel. Oh yes, look at that. There's one big bone there. Look at how much time that machine saves. Another one. I must have hit a nest of them. Oh, time to move. Who doesn't like watching holes be dug? No. Time to get the poles. Yeah, I had a bunch of this lumber laying around. It's actually what's called culled lumber. I got it at a discount because, well, it's either twisted or curved. Hey, but it's good enough to build what we're building here. So I put the post in the holes there and I tacked it up temporarily. Get it somewhere as close to where I want it to be. Yeah, I really should have suspenders on. Oh, there, I ran a string next to the building. So now I have a straight line going out there. And I figured out where I wanted the edge of the roof to end. Measured down, plumb line down, gave it a mark so I could find out how far away from the line I am. Yeah, about 20 inches. You can see when I measure over, I want a 1.5 inch overhang. So that's why I put it at 21.5. Well, I took and I braced up all the poles. I got them all where I wanted them. And yeah, now I use the round pointed shovel. Fill the holes in. Nothing wrong with little Armstrong. Now I made those braces level, so I just measured up. I'm marking them so I can top the post off, cut the post off, and they'll be nice straight across. So I'm going to put my header post, or my beam as you would call it. If you liked what you've seen in this video, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Yeah, that one's a little curved. Look an inventory over, see what I got to use, hold it in place. Everything's galvanized. I put these galvanized brackets on each side of the post and the beam. And I also, from the top down, installed a spike. Big old landscaping, galvanized landscaping spike. It must have been 8-9 inches long. But I don't think I actually got that video. I don't think I could save it. Here I'm using scrap 4x6s that I have laying around to cut the braces. It's actually, I used the tops also that I topped off. Now I tacked them up there with some nails. And I'm actually going to put lag bolts in there too. Not only does the bracing make it look pretty, it keeps it from racking back and forth. And of course, there's one of the legs I'm putting in, and snap, I broke it. So I gotta go get another one. Pre-drill it. Yeah, I'll put it in the next one. Time to take the bracing off. Now I haven't concreted these posts in, so you can actually move them back and forth, and I'll show you why.
I don't know if you can see them, but I'm really irritating some wasps there in the corner. I didn't get stung, but they were not happy. Must be a pretty big wasp nest in that corner. Go ahead, screw with the bees, Gary, screw with the bees. Now that little clip I'm putting on there, that's a helper clip. Considering this is a one-man job, you gotta have an extra set of hands sometimes, and that's what these clips are. An extra set of hands for me. This is the ridge beam. Gonna pre-mark it for all the rafters where to place them. It's a lot easier to mark it when it's laying on the ground than it is when it's up in the air. Put an X in the middle so it's easier to see. And them clips I put on there, my extra set of hands, here's where they come in. I'm screwing them right into the studs, and I think I'm getting them into the truss up top too. Building a shed is really not that hard. It's just a big puzzle. And I use screws. I use some nice long 16 galvanized. I believe they're even twisty ones, so they won't come out. We sometimes get snow around here, so I want to make sure that the roof doesn't fall off the side of the building. Those wasps are definitely not happy when I'm pounding on there. Time to trim the siding, fit around the ridge board. Well, gotta mark the beam where the rafters go. Using a black marker here makes it a little easier to see than a pencil. Now it's time to cut the rafter. I actually made another video on this, on how cutting a rafter when you don't know the height or the length. And this is where I made it from. It's really easy to get the rafter perfect. And I'm going to have another helper hand on there. Another clip I put up there to hold it up a little easier. Because there's a process we have to do. We have to tack, mark, cut, tack, mark, cut. So if you notice, the actual top of the rafter is a little bit higher than the ridge beam, and there's a reason for that. It's because the bird's mouth down there hasn't been cut yet. So we're going to go down, measure the distance we have down at the bottom there that we need to cut out for the bird's mouth. It comes out to about an inch. If you look, it's about an inch up top there too. That's what you want. Now we're going to mark this. We're going to take it back down and cut it. And then we're going to tack it up there an inch high like it was before. See, it's up above. Now I got a piece of material. It's an inch thick. And I make sure that the posts are plumb because I have not set them in concrete. Because it's a really important step to make sure this post is plumb right now. Now I've got it marked, time to cut it out. And I no longer need my helper clip either. So we'll take that off. Tell you what, if you use this process, you'll get the perfect rafter cut pattern every single time. I've tacked it back up there. See? Perfect bird's mouth. Now it's time to cut for the tail. Remember, I only tacked this rafter up because this is our pattern. I cut everything out, and now I start to make the rafters. Yeah, well, that one's cupped a little bit. Remember what I said about it being not cemented in the ground? Well, I pushed it over to meet the bird's mouth, and now I can tack it on there. I've attached blocking to all the rafters too. I'll show you how to do that. And it makes it easier to hold them straight. Take some of the cup out, and it gives you a stronger rafter because now that if one bends down, the other ones are it gives you a stronger job. Yeah, well, I got smarter this time. I got a bucket. Rafter number 2. Use the same length blocking up top. See how nice this goes along. And it's one person job. Yeah, that one there bow twisted a little bit, so I had to bring it up, and now I can nail it together. See what the blocking does? Blocking works well. And this is the end rafter. Well, looks like I'm going to put the lookouts on now. Time for fascia board. More fascia. Before I nail the ends, I'm going to trim them off. Wouldn't want to saw into a nail. Boy, that's a clean look. Now, time to sheet the roof. Well, I had some videos of putting on the shingles, but, well, I lost them. So, you got a few roof boards here, and then you've got the finished product. It's pretty much shingling like any roof. Put a little underlayment on, shingles on top. But at the very top, I ran out of shingles. I didn't want to spend $50 to buy another bundle of architectural shingles, so I had some 3 tabs that are pretty close to the same color, and I made my own architectural shingles. It's really easy to do. This is how I did it. I used 2 3 tabs to make one architectural. See how they're kind of different widths? Little tapered. Color's just about the same. So I take these tin snips, long handled ones, they really work good for cutting shingles. See how it kind of made them random? Architectural shingle, you know, some are wide, some are narrow. There. Now when you nail it, you're going to put nails on each one of the pieces that you put down. You're going to use a few more nails, but guess what? I didn't have to buy another bundle of shingles, and we got the job finished. And hey, they look pretty good. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Now it's time for the animals.